All right, everybody, it is time for my favorite part of every single video that we do. It is time to make the top 10 list. As I always encourage, please feel free to comment along in the comment section or send your list to my email address, eatsleeplistpod@gmail.com. That email address is in every single video description that we post. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear about some of your favorite memories and with various people, with your friends. It's been a little while since I described what the purpose of these lists are. It's not just me reading off some of my favorite experiences in life, but it's to encourage you to reflect upon your own, make your own life better, or in this instance, maybe even reach out to somebody that you haven't spoken to in a long time and grab a meal or go do something that you both are interested in. I did this several years ago, and it was one of the most rewarding emotional experiences of my life. Grabbing dinner or lunch once, twice a week with a variety of different friends and just reconnecting and making the effort to reconnect. And I'm really glad that I did. Really glad that I did. Here are my top 10 favorite memories. Very excited to discuss some of them, peel back the curtain on my life. Let's get to it. Here is my number 10. Back in the summer of 2010, I started a backyard trampoline wrestling group. It wasn't even a promotion, but just it was a way to gather with people who liked pro wrestling. And we put on all-day backyard wrestling shows. It was quite ridiculous. We'd film them. We do all kinds of crazy stuff. We do entrance music and all sorts of fun matches, but it was great. We called it Ultimate Trampoline Wrestling, UTW, and there was a lot of, it was a thing to do, which I always liked. I always kind of wanted that. It was a thing to do for my group of friends. We'd have 10 to 15 kids over every weekend and just film stuff, and we do all sorts of matches, and it was great. Some of my favorite memories of just wrestling bloopers, but we do fake cage matches, and we had a fake table, and man, I had just such a great group of people that would do that. And it only lasted one summer. I wanted it to go on forever. I actually ended up moving to Rochester, and a lot of people, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it really anymore, but man, the friends that I had come over and do that, Justin, Vince, my cousin Nico, Andy, Steven, Ariel. Oh God, there was really a lot. There was a lot, and like I did birthday party of it, but man, it was everything that I dreamed of. And God, take me back. And then I started doing actual pro wrestling, and I will thank it for that it did pave the way for me to start doing independent pro wrestling. So my number 10, the summer of 2010, backyard trampoline wrestling. My number 9, this was my elementary school group. All right, we used to have water gun wars in the in their neck of the woods, because my little group of friends back then, they all kind of lived around, basically on the same street. There was like 2 blocks, and it was myself, my friend Jake, my friend Danny. Then there was Mark that was there, and then there was a kid named Anthony. It might be maybe 1 or 2 others, but we'd all get water guns, and over the summer, it was probably 99, maybe 2000, and we'd pick teams, and we'd have teams and groups and clans, and we'd all just fight each other with water guns in the middle of the street during summer vacation. It was awesome. Something that, I don't know, I never see kids battling with water guns anymore. I know there's a little bit of a kind of like a stigma thing with it now, but man, like, those days were great. I appreciate it because it was maybe more generally acceptable back then too, but busting out some of these awesome super soaker guns and just going to battle with each other. We'd have water balloon grenades ready to go. Oh, man. Those were the days. Those were the days. Take me back. Water Gun Wars. That is my number 9. Number 8. Speaking of pro wrestling, it's, I mentioned it with my number 10. The road trips were the best part. I enjoyed a lot of my pro wrestling road trips more than I did being in the locker rooms. More than I did actually wrestling in a ring. But I had so many great road trip partners. I used to go up to Toronto quite often with my friends Ish, Lakeem, Rex, and we'd hang out and have some fun stuff. There was one time where we just did not want to go to a show because we were just tired of going up to this place, and we lied and said we got pulled over by Border Patrol, and we just stayed at the one guy's house and played video games. I think we played like 2K, WWE like 2K14 or whatever it was, and he just made dinner for us, and we just lied about that. There was one time we got pulled over because when you go over to Canada, you're not supposed to say you're wrestling for money. You're supposed to say you're in an exhibition, just kind of wrestling for free. And two of the guys in our car, one said yes, one said no, and we got pulled over and checked by Border Patrol, and it was just awkward. Just fun stuff. There was the time where me and my friend Vince and Kenny and Lakeem, we went out to my buddy Kenny's hometown of Newburgh, and we did a show. We tried to get Sonic, the fast food restaurant Sonic, on the way home, and there was an issue where they wouldn't take all 4 of our orders. So my buddy Kenny just basically said, he swore. Simply put, he swore at these people for not taking our order. But it's just the stories we used to tell, just talking about wrestling and what our thoughts on were. Our thoughts about certain things, certain people, certain promotions, or just laughing, just cracking jokes, keeping each other awake, because sometimes there was a lot of long, rough road trips. It could be difficult, I didn't really ever stay up late until I did pro wrestling, because there was times where I'll never forget, like one of my first ones, we went to Ohio, and we were out very late in the morning. We got back like super late, like on a Monday, like very late in the evening. It was a pain. It was a pain. It could be exhausting, but that was the grind. Paying your dues and traveling show to show and for little to no money. Stupid, kind of in hindsight, but I'm glad I had those life experiences. But the road trip, keeping each other awake, making each other laugh, and just that little bit of quality time together. Those relationships, those memories last so much more than any match could ever do so. So number 8, the pro wrestling road trips. My number 7, I had a friend named Matt that lived down the street from me. And 6th, 7th grade, we got really close. We rode the bus together. And there was a little store that maybe people watching this video remember, called Media Play. And one of our hangouts during the nice weather days was for us to walk. Our parents would each alternate in giving us like $5-6. And this is the day where Arby's had the 5 for $5. All right. And we go and split Arby's roast beef sandwiches. We get the 5 for $5, and we'd share. And then we go hang out at Media Play, walk around and just window shop, or if we had money of our own, buy something cool. All right. It was something simple, but it was like a nice way to just kind of get out and move. And it was nice having a friend down the road, because I really didn't have many in my specific neighborhood. Right, I had to venture out a little bit if I had to find somebody, but that's what we did. I remember those days fondly. We did it for about 2-3 years, and then high school happened, and we just kind of went our different paths. But yes, the walking to the Media Play as well as the Arby's 5 for $5. Shout out to that. That is my number 7. My number 6. One of my favorite aspects of having my own podcast studio was the ability to run studio events. Yes, it's great to be able to just record out of a room, but the ability to have like parties and other gatherings for the sake of it, just to have a space to do that was wonderful. And I am so thankful for the dozens of people that passed through there a variety of different times. All right. One of my favorite ones that we frequently did was video game nights, where, some of them were better attended than others, but we'd set up 6, 7, 8 consoles at a time and spread them out throughout the room and just play video games. All right. Set up the Wii or the Nintendo 64 or the GameCube, or the PlayStations, the various PlayStations that we had. And it was just really cool to see people sit together, play games together, create new relationships, or build upon some other ones. We had a lot of good times, and there's a lot of good stuff with the video game nights. Event stuff we did, or watch parties basically. We did the Royal Rumble one. 2021 was my absolute favorite one. We had 30 people in the room, all watching the Royal Rumble. We did a Royal Rumble pool where you'd pay and pick a number, and if you're number one, if you're not number one, but if your number that you selected won the Royal Rumble match, you won a certain amount of you won money, which is always pretty cool to do. We had a lot of good people in the room for that. We watched football games, various primetime games where we come together for week 1. My diaper party was probably one of my favorite watch party ones too, because we did the Super Bowl where we had a ton of people in the room, in and around the room, and just hanging out watching the Super Bowl, which was amazing. And there was tons of other stuff too. We did hot dog eating contests. We did a digital PodCon out of our room, which was a good time. But just getting together and doing stuff, interacting with other people, was always a good time. So studio events comes in at number 6. My number 5, my high school wrestling days. Traveling, again, a lot of fun. I loved competing. All right, I loved competing on a wrestling mat, but traveling built those relationships up far more than just being just wrestling with each other. Some of these late night bus rides that we take to Rochester, to the Southern Tier in Fredonia. You really get to know people through that. Staying in hotels, which was always a good time. I loved the frequency of staying in hotels for wrestling tournaments. It was fun. I liked that little travel bit. I really found the bonds built stronger over the off seasons though, where you have to go kind of far away, and only the people that do the off season wrestling are the ones that are really dedicated to it. So you meet like-minded people doing off-season wrestling tournaments. God, we traveled so much. Virginia Beach was one we did 2 years in a row for the high school nationals. We did Thousand Island tournament, which was a really good time. My 10th grade year, I went unbeaten, which was pretty cool. I did Athens, Pennsylvania. We traveled quite frequently for wrestling because I wanted to be good, so I did as much as I possibly could for some of these off-season tournaments, and yeah, I share a lot of great memories. The Thousand Islands one was nuts because we put in the hotel we were at, we put a whole like pool table, not like a billiard table, but like one of those plastic pool like tables that you put by a pool, I guess you would call it. We like shoved it in the pool, inside the pool, and we put towels over the cameras, and one of the guys on our team was switching windows out and got people knocking on the door. It was chaos. It was absolute chaos, but iconic, and some of the best days of my life. So number 5, just the high school wrestling travel grind. Loved and appreciated going to all these tournaments, and the people that the bonds with my buddy Kenny and Irvin and his brother Albert and so many more that friendships that I got to make over the years. All right, my number 4. This is a great movie. on its own. But I especially adore this film because of the memory of this. So this is my cousins. This is a memory shared with my cousins. And cousins are typically described as your first best friends. All right. And I was very lucky to have a large, wonderful cousin group. But this was also at a very tough time in my life. So I was working a landscape job, just mostly mowing lawns and stuff. The work was easy. It was fun. But the people that I worked with were rough. It was a rough group and made the days very, very difficult. There's getting yelled at for breathing the wrong way and all sorts of stuff. It was very difficult. And not only was I enduring this, but I was also trying to get into the electricians union. So I was working overnights. I was so Sunday night I'd go in, I work an overnight shift, and then I go to my landscape job. I was probably working 19, 20 hours a day between both jobs, sleeping for maybe 3.5 hours at a time if I was lucky. And it was hard. It was very hard. I looked forward to the weekends because I can rest and be with people, be with my girlfriend, now wife, and obviously do things like this. So Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out. I'm a big Marvel guy. I'm excited. I have no idea what to expect, but I go to this, and I laugh. Like I'm having fun. Couldn't believe how fun and funny this movie was. And it was like the first time in a long while that I smiled because me and my now wife it was a weird, rough patch in early on in our relationship. And but I just remember smiling for the first time and being happy that I was with my cousins. And while not every single one of my cousins went, a large group of us went to this. You know, no parents. It was us together over 2 or 3 cars sitting next to each other watching this movie. And when I think back about it, I think this is the last organic group hangout that we ever had. All right, there was no birthday party attached to it. There was no holiday attached to it. It was, let's just go to the drive-in and watch a movie together. And it's crazy to think, it's 11 years ago. Yeah, it was the summer of 2014. Probably July or I think it was maybe August. Maybe. I can't remember exactly when Guardians came out, but it was the summer of 2014. And it was special. It was a special night, a great movie that I will always remember fondly, not just for being a great movie, but for being a great night out with some of the best people I've ever known. So that's my number 4, the Guardians of the Galaxy drive-in trip. Number 3, football games. I'm a big proponent of seeing football games with the people that you love, spend time watching sports, watching cool stuff with people that you love and care about. I love watching football with my friends and family. To be able to go to a game with friends and family is even more special because there's a whole, there's a lot of being together, right? Tailgating, if that's your kind of thing. You go do the tailgate, and you walk to the stadium together, and then you watch the game, and then you kind of come out and try to escape traffic. I had so many great experiences going to football games with friends. Indianapolis, all of my trips. 2019 was just me and my dad, so it was a special kind of one-on-one. Me and my dad have a great level of, I think, like a friendship kind of relationship now too, where he's always there for me, sometimes more than people I've called friend in the past. But 2018, me, my dad, my cousin Nick, and a guy we work with, Mark, went. And that was my first trip to Indianapolis. Super excited for that one. 2021 was my first trip to Indianapolis. Really any vacation without any parents, any adult supervision. Me and my friend Brandon went to Indianapolis and watched the Colts play the Patriots on a prime Saturday evening game. And got to watch Jonathan Taylor rush this huge rushing touchdown to put the game away. 2023 was my last time in Indianapolis, where it It was me, my dad, my Uncle Rich, and then my friend Brandon, my friend Tank, my friend Jack, and Dickie all went and had this great weekend where we went to this cool bar called Howl at the Moon. We had dinner at St. Elmo's. We did a lot of together stuff. But just sitting there watching the games live, just feeding off the energy in the crowd was just unbelievable and stuff that I never forget. There's also the times where I was here in Buffalo when I went to go see the Bills play the Patriots in 2022 with my good friend Brian. And former Colt running back Nyheim Hines ran back like 2 touchdowns that game. It was crazy. And they smoked the Patriots. We sat second row. I've never sat that close at a Bills game. And I had so much fun doing it. So sitting there watching football games live in person with my friends, always a good time. Even watching, at home together too. But, man, really being in the stadium together, it is a different kind of energy, and I love and appreciate it. Number 2. Podcasting together. I have made so many great friends over my 7 years of podcasting in some way, shape, or form. I can't name them all. I don't want to name them all because I probably forget somebody. But some of my best friendships that still maintain to this day were born with a microphone and or a camera in front of my face. And I've had some of my best and most wholesome conversations through podcasting, whether it's the variety of different podcasts that I've hosted, the variety of different podcasts that I've guested on. There's been so many fun memories. I have, I think I can probably pick out a favorite episode that I've done for every show that I've been a part of. But whether it was talking football with my Colts fans and Bills Land show or the 2-point conversation or talking comic books or making goofy impressions on the panel discussion. Some of the funny conversations that I still have to this day on the Eat Sleep List audio version. What else have I done? Good Lord. Network Sports Podcast, the Section 6 WrestleCast, which was a local high school wrestling show that I did, and getting to talk with some of the wrestlers and the local high school wrestlers and coaches and reflecting on some of that stuff. Man, I've done so much stuff, and these are all conversations that I will never forget. And fortunately for me, I have them recorded. They're up on our network website, a lot of them, bicbp-radio.com, and I have these forever. All right, they are there. If I want to go reflect or reminisce on a wonderful conversation that I had with somebody who I love and care about, I just have to hit play, and that's super meaningful to me. My number 1. This one was something I've talked about during the high school music playlist. But my high school best friends, Justin, Billy, Eric, man, we were inseparable. And I love and miss them all. We see each other from time to time, not as often as I'd certainly like, but hanging out, just being together. Especially my favorite part was our car rides. We'd all hop in my dad's Mercury Tracer with its the green Mercury I think that's what it was, a green Mercury Tracer. My dad let me take the car out, and then eventually my first car that I ever really owned was the Nissan Altima. And we'd sit in the car. We'd go on adventures. We'd go to the malls. We'd go hang out at the Boulevard Mall. We'd go hang out at the Galleria Mall. We'd do so much stuff together. Go out to eat. But the best part of it was the car ride. 4 kids, inseparable, singing our hearts out to Journey, Don't Stop Believin', or Semi-Charmed Kind of Life by Third Eye Blind. And we just do it over and over and over again. We were never sick of it. And this is one of the things that I look back upon. I mean, a lot of these memories I would love to relive. But this one is always special to me because, again, how tight-knit we were and how just life took us on our different paths. The ending of The Sandlot always saddens me when they're going through all the kids that played on The Sandlot, and then one by one they're telling their stories about how, what they became when they grew up, and they just kind of fade out and they disappear until there's just one left. I think it was Benny the Jet was the last one too, but like that part always gets to me, and I feel that when I think back to these car rides with some of my best friends of all time, and just the different paths that we all took in life that, we don't see each other as often as we once did again, but when we do see each other, it's special. And these are memories that we can look back upon and reflect and talk about and smile. It's crazy. It is crazy that you really never know the last time you hang out with somebody when it's happening. You never realize the last time that you're backyard wrestling, or you're having a water gun war, or you are walking to media play, or having a studio event, or in this case, sitting in the car singing "Don't Stop Believin'" with your best friends in the whole wide world. So there it is, everybody. That is the Memories with Friends list. I thank you so much for sitting through this. Again, please share in the comments or our email. Would love to hear back from you. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. Until next time, do you even list?